Okay, so we're gonna turn our princess cake into a southern lady, a southern belle cake. We're gonna add a little detail to the top of her dress. We're gonna give her a parasol and a hat. So first I'm gonna start with the detail at the top of her dress. And I'm just gonna take my 104 tip. I'm gonna start here at the top of the sweetheart neckline and just sweep it around. Across her shoulders and back down. Okay, next we're going to work on her hat. I've cut out a design here on my cardboard. As you can see, it's just a circle with a circle in the center. We're going to cut it out and cut out the centerpiece, and that's the base for our hat. Okay, so there's our little cutout shape for the hat. This is going to create the brim for the hat. You want to create a little crease here so that it dips down a little in the front. Just going to have to cut it wide enough to get around her head and stick on. There you go. You can also use a little piece of tape in the back if you wish, but this fits just right. So for our parasol, we're going to use the same pink detail that we used before. We're also going to use a ruffle like we used here. Same motion. I'm going to turn her around and start in the back so I have a nice even ruffle coming around the front. Now I'm going to need to use one hand to turn the turntable and the other to do my ruffle. Make sure you've got nice pressure control. And begin. Squeeze and release, squeeze and release, squeeze and release. Make sure it comes out over the edge of the hat. Get it pushed way out over. Now our southern lady has a nice hat. Now, if you want to, you can leave it just like this so that the top of her head pokes out, or you can keep adding details just like we did on the dress. I'm gonna give her a little E-motion top of the hat. Now, if this is a brand new Barbie, and the person that you want the cake for is going to want the Barbie, you can put a little rubber balloon on the top of the head to protect the hair. Okay, there's our hat. Now we're going to move on to the parasol. So along the lines of whether the Barbie is actually going to go to the person the cake is for, we use a full Barbie, and that's why I use the 3 layers and the stacking technique so that the Barbie can go to the person that the cake's for. It's a little disappointing to find a Barbie that only has a half body. So for our parasol, we're going to use a straw. It's got a little icing on it so you can actually see that it's a straw there in the camera. And we're going to position it like this in her hand. So we want one hand down, like she's holding her parasol, and one hand up. So we want our parasol to be about 4 inches in total. So we're going to cut the straw in half. We'll go ahead and get it in her hands. So after we've positioned the straw for the parasol, we want to create the handle, which is going to hook over her hand. So we're making our little hook to go over her hand of the parasol. Then we're going to use our bag. I'm going to use white for the body of the parasol. And we're going to squeeze a thick layer, bring it down to a point. This will create the ridges of the parasol. No parasol is good without a ruffle. So we want to take our bag and come up and create a nice ruffle around the parasol. You can continue to add details. I'm going to add a little dot around here and just a little point on the end of the parasol. There we go. So once again, you can continue to elaborate. I'm going to give her a little rose here, some buttons down the front. As you can see, you could just go on and on and on. So there's our Southern lady.